Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Beyond Bitcoin bonus show. Oh, this is going to be quite a bonus. Today is July the 29th, 2020. Strong hand, conviction, be a unique beast. So this video is about unique beasts. I'm not a political guy, okay? I control my own destiny. There are a lot of people in this world, they put these politicians on pedestals. They think the politicians are going to solve all their problems. They're not. You're going to solve all your problems. So I'm going to start with that. But I have some advice for the Weinstein brothers, Eric and Brett Weinstein. All right? They're trying to come up with an alternative to Trump and Biden. They think the whole world is going to fall apart if one of those guys becomes president. They've come up with the Unity ticket concept, okay? And I linked to their URLs below where you can check out their articlesofunity.org, okay? So they want a Democrat and a Republican type of person, but moderate, to run on the same ticket. They've mentioned Andrew Yang. They've mentioned some general. I don't know how much progress they've made with this. And it's getting some traction on YouTube. But is the mainstream media picking up on it? No. Will they? No. And in order to win a presidential election, you've got to get a lot of the voting class. You got to get their attention. The voting class doesn't think very much. The voting class doesn't watch YouTube very much. They just recognize names, and those names give them good feelings. So if Brett and his brother, if they want to really get this thing started, I suggest they watch a video that I just watched. And it was the debate, that heated vaccine debate. It wasn't that heated, between Robert Kennedy Jr. and Alan Dershowitz. All right, so we all know who Alan Dershowitz is. OJ's lawyer, and no, but he's a big lawyer, big famous lawyer, teaches at Harvard, and it's been liberal, but now people, because he said something nice about Trump once, they hate him. He's been canceled or something like that. And Robert Kennedy Jr., everyone recognizes his name because Robert Kennedy was John F. Kennedy's brother. Robert Kennedy was the Attorney General under President Kennedy, and Robert Kennedy was assassinated in 1968 by Sirhan Sirhan while he was trying to become president of the United States. And he probably would have become president of the United States. Everybody was in love with the Kennedys. So Robert Kennedy Jr. is Robert Kennedy's son. Now, Robert Kennedy Jr. never ran for political office. He had some controversies in his past, and that's in his Trump had. There's a lot of guys now. Controversies in your past with substance abuse and with women. That's totally accepted now. So, I mean, that's neither here nor there about it. I linked to his Wikipedia article. Now, the guy's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy, Robert Kennedy Jr. And he is known for being an anti-vaxxer. Now, the guy is not an anti-vaxxer. He's not against every vaccine. He's a huge environmentalist, okay? Huge climate change guy. I definitely don't agree with the guy on that stuff at all. But this video, in this debate, and they didn't really clash too much because they seem to agree on quite a lot. It was very informative. And Kennedy Jr. is a unique beast. He does not blindly go with the Democratic Party line. Now, he is quite liberal and he is quite a Democrat, but he you could tell the man thinks for himself because he's not giving up on this vaccine thing. He is he talks about the aspects of vaccines that are dangerous. They can be dangerous. There are plenty of questions about vaccines, and they talk about the coronavirus vaccine that is being rushed, that is being clearly rushed, and clearly it's being tested on the healthiest people possible, he says, okay? Now, who's it going to be given to first? The most unhealthy people possible. By the way, pound that like button, people, if you like a bonus show that has nothing to do with Bitcoin. If you're new here, this is my backup Bitcoin channel. I am the Bitcoin Meister. You can look that up if you like Bitcoin stuff. I do stuff beyond Bitcoin on this channel. Yeah, I have 2 channels. Thank you, YouTube. But so going back to the subject at hand here. Yeah, he's not afraid that people talking about this vaccine stuff. That like me, he would take vaccines that are necessary, that are healthy. Okay, but he doesn't take rushed vaccines, and he talks about a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with Fauci and some of this would be labeled conspiratorial, et cetera, but by so many people on the left. I mean, but he's on the left. He is definitely on the left. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy's got a big name. This guy, he doesn't toe the line. This guy thinks for himself, and he appeals to some people that might be considered conservative. A lot of conservative people don't believe in vaccines, and a lot of conservative people are very fed up with the lockdowns and the everything's that gets going on with the virus. Now, if you want one sound clip from this video, it is about 56 minutes and 50 seconds into it. He says a healthy person pretty much has basically zero chance of dying from COVID. Healthy person dying from COVID. This is something we all know, and people on the left can't even say it. They can't, but he said it. And that right there made me think this is an honest man. Okay, I'm not going to agree with this guy on a lot of darn things, but this guy, he doesn't care about fitting in. Fitting in is overrated. That's what we talk about here. Okay, so Eric Weinstein and Brett Weinstein, you want your movement. You're tired of the Democrats and the Republicans, the extremes, the Trump, the Biden, can't even think anymore. You want to start a movement. This is how you start a movement. You put a guy like that who everybody knows his darn name, okay? Everybody knows his last name. There are people will blindly just vote for it. If he's you put him on the vice presidential part of the ticket, the presidential part of the ticket. I don't care, okay? I'm just giving you advice because, first of all, I don't care who becomes president. I don't give a darn who becomes president. But you're trying to start a movement. This is how you spark a movement. You use that Kennedy name, and he'll know his name's being used. I mean, he's lived many, many years. He's 60-some years old or whatever. And so he's used to his name being, used for all sorts of things. I mean, Dershowitz, half the things he was saying was praising his father and everything, and his uncle and this and that and the other. I mean, it's polite to say, but I'm sure he's dealt with it his whole darn life. It's just when you got that last name and that father, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I would say to you dudes, if you really want a legitimate third-party movement and you want attention, and it probably won't win, but I mean, it would be the start of something. You put that guy on there. Because he'll speak his mind, and he'll appeal to both sides of the aisle for various reasons, and he's definitely his own dude. And you guys think this is the end of the world, so why not try something a little different there? It's better than Andrew Yang, okay? It's going to get you more attention than Andrew Yang. It'll spark something other than more so than Andrew Yang already had his shot. It didn't really work out, and then he just blindly he's like, I support Biden now. I mean, come on. You're supposed to be the big rebel. I support Biden now. Okay, very, very good stuff. Again, everyone, you got to be an individual. This collectivist stuff is completely nonsense. But I'm giving advice to the Weinsteins who believe in some aspect of collectivism, obviously. I do want to say something also with Robert Kennedy Jr. He does suffer from spasmodic dysphonia, also known as laryngeal dystonia, and it's a disorder in which the muscles that generate a person's voice go into periods of spasm. This results in breaks or interruptions in the voice, often every few sentences, which can make a person difficult to understand. So at the beginning of the debate, he was a little difficult to understand. He has a problem. He has an issue. But I mean, come on now. Joe Biden is losing his mind. He can't speak. This guy's not losing his mind, at least. And I'm sure he can work on it. And there's certain. I mean, not being able to speak all the time isn't the worst thing. He can think fine. And anyway, you're just using it to spark your movement and to get attention and to shake things up. And as a guy, why not shake things up in politics? Maybe it'll make some people more honest. Maybe it'll. He definitely has a libertarian streak to him. He does not believe in. Alan Dershowitz was giving reasons why the Supreme Court can say, yes, everyone should be forced to take a vaccine. But for me, the moment was a healthy person basically has zero chance of dying from COVID, which is the The darndest truth. And if people of the world, just if the president of the United States just said that, or if the media said that, the media has more reach than the president of the United States. But they're not. They try to scare people. This dude he wasn't trying to scare people there. He said the straight up truth. A healthy person has a basically zero chance of dying from COVID. It was at the 5650 mark. So I mean, why are we even worrying about a vaccine for healthy people at least? But for anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole. If you're sick, you got to look out for yourself. There's all sorts of flus can kill sick people too. All right, I just want to see if there are any questions there. Someone says, Taval says, not that I am necessarily a pro-vaxxer or anti-vaxxer, but do people realize if the government wanted to poison us, they could just release some chemical into the air? Yeah, of course. The government doesn't want to poison. He's not trying to say the government's trying to poison anyone. I'm not trying to say the government. He's not an anti-vaxxer. He is a person who cares about. He definitely cares about people dying. Okay, he's looking out for the good of humanity, and I think he overreaches when he's talking about the climate change stuff. Obviously, I think that, but he does believe that people should have the right to refuse putting needles into their bodies of unproven substances. And right now, this virus is this vaccine is clearly being rushed. Clearly being rushed. There is no doubt about it. So I think that's really all I had to say. Maybe who knows who will end up watching this video. It is something totally different than what I usually do. But definitely check out the debate at the 5650 mark. It was very informative little talk there by Dershowitz and Kennedy Jr. And people won't debate him. People will not debate. So you got to give Dershowitz credit on that one. And more people, and just he is. If you look up his name, there's so many on social media. People call him anti-vaxxer, calling him all these things. But he keeps on ticking there. He keeps on going. And it's mostly from the left they call him the anti-vaxxer. So that's why if they want some unity ticket, someone that appeals to left and right, there's my suggestion there. Weinstein brothers, good luck with your little project. Personally, I don't think the world's going to end if Biden or Trump becomes president, but you guys apparently do. So this is your suggestion. And yeah, he said himself that he has like a libertarian streak in him, which is a lot of people will enjoy that on YouTube at least. All right, and you can't beat that last name for the voting class. They will just click on that. Oh yeah, senile. I don't like Trump and Biden senile. Oh Kennedy. Oh finally I get to vote for Kennedy. I mean there are all these people today that are so down and out, and they've longed for a disaster. And this COVID thing is their disaster. They've always longed for I finally get my 9/11. Well, how about this? Finally, you get to vote for your Kennedy. You weren't around in 68 or 1960. So now, hey, look, you get to vote for your Kennedy now. You can market it that way. All right, dude, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Pound that freaking like button, guys. Yes, and go to my main channel if you want today's Bitcoin show. It's also linked to below. I'm disruptmeister.com, techbalt.com. Follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. Subscribe to this backup channel. That's it, guys. Bye-bye.